just launch into this morning. I see a name. Okay. I see one or two names. I'm just going to throw this out there. If they're out there, I saw a name, Lourdes out there. Is Lourdes on this line? Is that possible? Like I saw Lourdes Papke, and I don't know if that is something
That's
from another.
It is. It is.
No,
hi, everyone.
Lourdes.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Lourdes. It's Gordon.
Yes.
Is this Lourdes like Lourdes, Peruvian Lourdes?
Yes, this is Gordon, the greatest boss that I've ever had. Yes.
Lourdes. This is me giving you a hug right now.
Oh, there you go. Right back to you. It was so wonderful to hear that you were starting something. So I wanted to make sure to jump on the phone and see what you guys had to offer. But this is very exciting, knowing your history, your background. I know this is going to be huge. So thank you for the invite, Dr. Jerry. Thanks for the invite.
Oh, muchísimas gracias. To you, thank you, Lourdes. You're the best. We'll have to talk after. This is not the best pickup, but we will. Okay. Yeah. Wow, Lourdes, that just blew my mind. I'm not kidding you. I was talking about you last week. Well, it was all good. Okay. We'll digress if I'm not careful. Okay. I'm in guys. We'll have some chance afterwards to chat. But this is one of those things that I came across a quote when we were starting this, and it was a Goethe quote. I'm kind of a fan of German philosophers, and he said the hardest thing to see is what's in front of your eyes. And I have to tell you, I was I'll give you a little bit about my background. I was born and raised in Toronto, Canada. I had an immigrant mom who was learning English when I was born, and she brought me into the world of the Italian culture from birth. And I was raised with an Italian mom and a Canadian dad, and so I kind of have a foot in both worlds. But my mom was also, and both my parents were herbal gerbils way before it was popular. My mom had a health food store in the late 70s. My dad started the Canadian division of a company called Nature Sunshine Products from our basement. That was my first job. I was 8 years old. So I learned to prescribe and diagnose without a license before I was 10 years old. Our legal counsel's not on the line today, so I'm able to say that. But I really love the nutritional industry. It's been my biggest passion in life. And so what happened about 2-3 years ago, actually it was several years before that, I had a moment of what I would call epiphany, and I was in Italy. And by the way, for those folks, just my mom there below the guitar, she's just before she left Italy and immigrated to the States. And I've been raised with olive oil. It was something that my mom used a lot growing up. I had a place that we would rent. I had a big business over in Europe at one point. Lourdes knows the details, so does Ray. But I had spent, my family over there is in Veneto, northern Italy, and I would stay in Italy in Tuscany area while we were doing business for part of the summer every year. And the house that we rented was on a functioning olive orchard, and it was an olive farm. I got to get up close and personal with olives, and there was one night where my landlady pulled out a frozen bottle of something, and she produced it, and I said, "What is this?" It's the color of the on the right there. And she said, "It's olive oil." And I said, "No, can't be possible. That looks like it's been photoshopped or, green food dye put in it." And she said, "No, this is the first minute to 2 minutes of a first press extra virgin olive oil. It comes out this color. Nobody ever sees it because it doesn't have stability or shelf life. You have to freeze it if you want to actually experience it a couple weeks past harvest." And she said, "We freeze a few small bottles every year, and so we bring it out on kind of special occasions." And she poured me a shot of it and said, "This is kind of the life force or the kind of secret to Tuscan life. You get microdoses of this every day if you get extra virgin olive oil, but this is right here, a full court press of, in no pun intended, of olive life essence in a little shot." And she made some irreverent comment about what it would do for my love life in front of my wife, which is kind of funny. Italians like to do that. And this is her son on the left. And I don't know if we'll have sound here, but this is him basically pouring me some olive oil that I currently have on my desk. And I'll leave the sound off of this video because he's speaking in Italian anyway, and know that I can translate properly, but he's basically saying, there's the color of it right there coming out. And that's the glass that I'm holding here. That's it right there. It's green, a good extra virgin olive oil. And let me tell you a little bit something about it. When you hear the term extra virgin, you hear and you're like, how could that be? It's either virgin or it's not virgin. There's sounds like somebody's doing a wordsmithing there. But what happened is olive oil originally was olive oil, and then people learned that they could cut it with other things like canola oil or sunflower oil. And so they came up with a standard that said virgin olive oil, which was up to, I believe, 70% olive oil, and the rest could be some other type of oil. Well, instantly, every manufacturer in the world did exactly 69.5% olive oil, and the rest would be some other oil. So they created something called extra virgin olive oil, which is 100% first press olive oil. When I say first pressed, extra virgin olive oil has to be picked, washed, and pressed within 12 hours of picking to get that level of standard. And most of the stuff we get here in the States is actually, even if it says it, it's not what we get. I'll introduce you to what we're talking about today. This is a new company that we'll be launching in the coming weeks called OLIABO. I'll give you the history behind it. All the art you're seeing is all our creation here. There's a reason why you guys had to sign an NDA to get on this call. A lot of this it's submitted with the USPTO already, but I want to keep a certain amount of this close to our chest. It gives us a distinct element of newness this fall. But OLIABO is the name of the company. It's the name of the brand. It's also has my daughter's name in it. Her name is Leah. Olia in Italian is the feminine form of oil. Botanica is the other part of it that we fused together. Botanica is basically Olia Botanica, but we shortened it to OLIABO. And we say Italian purity meets American purpose. I love my Italian roots. I love Italy. They are unbelievably food snobs. They have levels of growing standard that do not exist in anywhere else on the planet. They're also pretty good at bureaucracy. So American purpose also means it's a lot easier to start a company here than it is in Italy. This is the brand. It's a brand. And we're saying our phrase is the olive standard. What we're trying to do here is in the United States, there is no understanding or knowledge of the olive's potential. Everybody knows it's good for you. Everybody knows a little bit like, oh yeah, olive oil is good for you. But why? We're going to educate the world. And that's a big responsibility starting this fall. People like Dr. Jerry Shaw, who has spent a lot of time in the holistic space, understands that anything like this takes a certain amount of education. I think Ray and I have talked about this. I think we're two people in the world that have a lot to do with the education that happened with grapeseed extract in the, I don't know, mid 90s, Ray, I think. And flash forward a few years, Ray was the first phone call I made when we started a company called Zango in 2002. And we spent several years, Lourdes helped me with this part of it, educating the world about the mangosteen fruit. Lourdes helped me educate the world in Spanish because, as Lourdes knows, lo siento mucho, no hablo español, and I still don't, Lourdes, so God bless you for your patience. That poor lady had to translate for me. I'm no fun to translate for, so let me go forward here a little bit about our imaging before we launch into the product. Everything you see here art-wise is a result of work that we've done in-house here. I decided to camp on a style of mid-century modern. Right after World War II, my mom said everything in Italy, they had to paint everything drab colors during the war. You couldn't, draw attention to anything. And after World War II, everybody went into bright technicolor. And so what I did is I decided to create a world that was the old kind of optimistic ad space of the 1950s that looked like this in America and in Italy, but add modern technology. If you see these people here holding cell phones, they didn't have those in the 1950s, 1960s. That's a creation. We're building the world we want people to live in. A couple of stats. I think the world is ready for a company like this. 17% of Americans, this is the highest in history, are currently in the early stage entrepreneurial phase, called the T rate, the total entrepreneurial adoption rate. And right now, it's the highest, and also an additional high, is that 12% of Americans are looking to start their own business right now. Highest record number of people doing business applications happened in last year in 2024. That's a 50% increase from 2019. Sudden focus on wellness, 58% increase in gut health supplement sales. I'll give you some of these other stats, and we can talk about those in a later date, but those are global and international stats. This is the team here. I'll do a quick introduction. Sorry, I don't have the job titles on this one. This was for a group that was like Ray, and Ray knows me, so I was like, it's me, Curtis. Curtis is in charge of zeros and ones. He's to my right in this conversation. You don't want me in charge of computers. That ends badly. Ashley Brown is across the table from me. She's the talented young lady that's in charge of our skincare. And my brother, Giuseppe, which I think I saw his name. I think he's on the line somewhere here. We have this next page is our sales elimination department. This is our CFO and our general counsel, and they're extremely talented. And I'm grateful for them every day because they're the people that keep people like me compliant. Yes, Ray, you'll be pleased to know that I have compliance officers that deal with me as well. They don't just deal with you. Okay, right now people are interested in health. I showed you that stat in America, but it's overwhelming, the staggering number of supplements out there. There's a lot of Me Too. And if you were talking in 1979 about ginkgo biloba or ginseng, you'd be talking herbal gerbils like my parents that were talking about this in people's living rooms and in a very granola health food store in Orangeville, Ontario, Canada. But nowadays you can get ginkgo biloba or ginseng at eye level at a Walmart. And the reason why is because people educated the world. If I were talking to you about either of those very great supplements, I think we would agree that the opportunity is past. So we're talking about something very new. I'm going to introduce you to some statistics right now. Heart health. So, 50 milliliters of extra virgin olive oil. By the way, EVO stands for extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil a day resulted in 30% lower risk of cardiovascular disease. That's not my stat. That was 7,400 people in a double-blind placebo study consuming that. 30% lower risk of cardiovascular disease. Mortality. This is a big one. 11 milliliters. If you're wondering, by the way, on this stat, 50 milliliters a day is about 3 and change tablespoons. 11 milliliters a day, so a fraction of that. If it's in your diet, increases or lowers your mortality, all-cause mortality rate, 8 to 9%. That's not me. That's the New England Journal of Medicine. That's extra virgin olive oil consumed daily. It's part of your diet. Thank you. Brain health, 20 to 30 milliliters a day of extra virgin olive oil improves cognitive function and lowers something called beta amyloid accumulation. That's a sticky protein that gets in our brains and basically causes the cloud that goes into something like mental decline, at worst Alzheimer's. They're very, very awful diseases that many of us probably experienced loved ones going through. But olive oil improves cognitive function and lowers your problems with mental acuity as we get older. The stats are, by the way, backed up by the research below. And inflammatory, here's a big one. High phenolic, here's a new word for you, HP Evo. High phenolic extra virgin olive oil rich in oleocanthols acts similar to low-dose ibuprofen. So what is oleocanthols? Well, let me explain. I will in a second. I rearranged my slide deck just before I came in here. So average Italian consumes 14 liters of high-quality extra virgin olive oil per year. The freaking Greeks outdid us, 20 liters. Now here's our takeaway. The average American consumes 1 liter of crappy olive oil per year. So I'm a good salesman, I've been told, but I'm not good enough to convince Americans to go from 1 liter of crappy extra virgin olive oil a year to 14 liters to get the stats that we talked about above. But I am the part of my brain, the 50% of it that functions like the American thinks there's got to be an easier way. So let me introduce you to something. There is a word that we discovered called oleocanthal, and the world recently identified it in the last few years and started studying it. It is the active component that is that bright green color in the first part of the press of extra virgin olive oil, and it's found in extra virgin olive oil in when you buy it and consume it as part of your diet. Oleocanthal is by the way, we have a proprietary mix we're calling olivectin. It is the fruit extract and the leaf extract. Olive leaf is also got powerful phytonutrients. The olive extract is a proprietary process. It's intellectual property by an Italian firm, 100-year-old Italian company that does pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals, and they have a patented process that they could extract this life force, this green life force from the olive fruit. Go ahead first.
Yeah, sorry. So one thing I want to make sure we're clear on. Let me show you some of the differences here real quick while Gordon's going to the next phase here. I'm coming up close so you can see. Look in. Well, maybe we should switch this. Can you guys? Can everyone see me? Yes. Can you see me in the upper right, or should I switch the screen really quick?
We can see you, but you're small. Your picture's small.
Thank you.
If you do this, Curtis, I think you can just put it right up to the camera.
Yeah, I want to do that here, but let me just really quick, just so they can understand.
This, folks, there's a reason why we were having technical difficulties. We try to do this presentation. The only people that have seen, the only person until this point that has only seen this presentation on video is Ray. The thing that happened last Friday when Hernan and Robin came in, it was live again. And I've been on the road. I just got back from a business trip to, and so I'm doing this usually in front of a group. So we're trying to do this with a video presentation.
For a quick moment, Gordon, I apologize. Unshare your screen really quick. Actually, no,
you want me to do that?
Sorry, I apologize.
I get instantly. I get poor gut health when I have to do that. So
this is a little bit better here. So what I want to show you, this is the regular extra virgin olive oil that you'll get at the store here. Mm-hmm. What we're actually talking about is not just the value and benefits of extra virgin olive oil, but high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. So this is the difference in color, if you can see that, right? The difference in color also helps you understand the difference in phytonutrients that are actually in the olive oil. And then we're also talking about a further component that we're adding in, which is related to a specific proprietary blend of essentially extracts from the leaf and extracts from the fruit that is our proprietary blend of olivectin. And so we'll send you some samples so that you can see this and understand. But that's what we're talking about, not just regular olive oil. We'll send you some words. Write down some words. HPEVOO, high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. Look that up after the call. Look up words like oleocanthal, some of these different words so that you can get a real clear understanding of what we're talking about. Okay. Sorry.
Curtis, thank you. It loses its visual impact on the video. Trust me, in person, it's really good. And what we would do, like last week with Hernan and Robin, is we, at this point in the presentation, usually pour a small shot of extra virgin olive oil, the high phenolic one that Curtis just showed that's green. What happens when you drink it? Actually, Ashley, this is your slide. You want to do this one?
Oh yeah, this is fun.
And we'll send you all.
You came up, you found this word, so
we'll send you all samples that you can try yourself, so you can understand exactly what we're talking about.
Okay, so I was listening to this podcast. They mentioned this word oleocanthal, and I was obsessed with it. I'm like, tell me more about this. There's so many benefits. So I looked into this guy. His name is Gary Beecham, and he discovered this oleocanthal property, which is in high phenolic olive oil. So what it is it's a very good anti-inflammatory property, and when you do drink it, it leaves this feeling in the back of your throat. So he's a sensory scientist as well, and he was doing an olive oil tasting in Sicily, and he drank this one, and he was like, who put ibuprofen in my olive oil? come to find out, an uncoated ibuprofen has the same benefit, not the same benefits, but anti-inflammatory benefits as an ibuprofen. So,
And the same physical properties, which is what caused the cough in the back of his throat.
Without
Exactly.
the negative impacts.
Right,
Yeah.
without blowing out
Yeah.
your liver, kidney functions.
yeah.
Okay, but you gotta hit them with the 3 coughs.
Oh yeah. So when you do drink this, it is a very different experience than you would even imagine. So you drink it, and depending on how many coughs you have or that feeling in the back of your throat that's going to be tingling, it depends on how high the oleocanthal content is in it. So if there is a 3 cough after, which will come what do we say, like 10 seconds, 5
10 to
seconds
30
after,
seconds.
if there's a 3 coughs after 2, 3, 4, that means it's really rich in oleocanthal.
So
We usually put a beverage in front of you so you can chase it.
So we'll send you a sample so you understand what we're talking about. Because if you take a little shot of regular extra virgin olive oil that you get at the store that you probably have in your kitchen, you're not going to feel any of that, and that's because it doesn't have it's not high in these polyphenols that we're talking about, like oleocanthal and these other things. So we're going to send you each a little shot of the high phenolic extra virgin olive oil that we're talking about.
This is not what's pictured on the screen either. This is what they're selling currently up the road at Trader Joe's. There is extra virgin olive oil at Trader Joe's, but there's a lot of this kind of stuff. Packed in Italy, imported olive oil, but you go to the back in the ingredient panel, first ingredient is refined olive oil, which means that's the most common ingredient. Second is extra virgin olive oil. There's no distinction about how much extra virgin olive oil. It could be 10% for all we know. Refined olive oil means it's probably second pressed. You can still get olive oil from a second pressing. It's a lot less expensive, cheap. It's cheap. I'm just gonna say cheap. This says packed in Italy, but if you look at the bottom in the fine print, it says produced in Italy and Tunisia, which means these olives are probably not even Italian, so they don't have the growing standards of Italy. That is currently what we as Americans are consuming, and thinking that we're getting healthy. Let me just explain a little something about our philosophy. Lourdes, remember in our old life, I think we all read a book called Pour Your Heart Into It. It was Howard Schultz that started Starbucks. I think he's kind of a superhero in my world because he went over to Italy, and in Milan, he experienced coffee on a business trip, and he's like, oh my gosh, in America, we're getting a completely different product. It's awful. And we do free refills. This was circa late 70s. In Italy, it's an experience. He came across words like barista. He came across words like macchiato, latte, just means milk in Italian. But in Italian cafe, you ask for latte, it's your coffee with milk. So he took these words here. He came back and found out that in America, we were using Robusta beans, which are the crappiest coffee beans. Self-respecting Peruvians would not use Robusta beans in their coffee shops. But in circa late 70s, America was getting the crappiest beans from all the world. He came back and decided to educate people. And today you can go into a Starbucks and you'll have a police officer that makes $35,000 a year standing in line with a guy in a Brooks Brothers suit with $6. They both have $6 in their hands, all ready to pay for all the experience because somebody educated them. Flash forward in the olive, we're doing something similar. We're going to educate the world on olives. I'm not expecting anybody to go from 1 liter of olive oil to 14 liters, but you can get all the benefits with those 2 patented extracts. We're putting it in a product we call Prima. You look at it's in a soft gel cap. You can get all the benefit of the extra virgin olive oil in the soft gel cap. You take it in the morning on an empty stomach. And I should point out, Italians will take a teaspoon or a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil on an empty stomach when they get up in the morning, because they just know. They don't know the word oleocanthal, not all of them. They don't know how to say high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. What they do know is how to get your olive oil from the source. They go to the farm, and they know to take it. It's good for them.
Yeah.
So people crave simplicity, and this is our simplest form of delivery. Instead of pouring yourself a shot and coughing 3 times.
Yeah.
By the way, all that consumption of olive oil I talked about previously, that's Italian kitchens for the most part. If you have a salad in Italy, they don't have French dressing or ranch dressing or Thousand Islands. They have one salad dressing, which is olive oil, extra virgin, and balsamic vinaigrette. Stop, as they say. E basta. that's what we are talking about here. But in a capsulated form with the life force infused into extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil in a gel cap infused with olivectin, which is our proprietary blend of leaf extract and fruit extract. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So just to share a story. So something I talk a lot about that you'll hear from me is the awareness gap. So there's an olive health awareness gap in the world today, right? And some of the other products that we've mentioned over the years have had that same thing: grape extract, grapeseed extract, and so many other things, right? With Zango, it was the mangosteen, and so many other products over the years. There's a massive awareness gap between what that product is and what the benefits of it are, and what the awareness of the general populace is. So olive oil has been around for thousands of years. The olive's been a really important fruit or product forever in cultures around the world. But it's only in the last 10 to 15 years that the medical science has done a deep dive and had the ability to analyze various aspects to understand a bunch of the different health benefits that come from not even just an extra virgin olive oil, but a high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, and from things like a leaf extract, an olive leaf extract, and some special extracts from the fruit itself. Those things weren't even possible to extract effectively until the last couple of decades as well. And so I want to make sure we're really clear that there's a very big difference. Even the high quality extra virgin olive oil that Italians or other Mediterranean diets might have, which is much better than what we're getting here, they're not getting in their daily diets the high phenolic extra virgin olive oil that I'm talking about and that we're talking about, as well as the component of our special proprietary blend of olivectin, which is special extracts from the olive leaf and the olive fruit inserted in that as well. My awareness in all of this started to increase about 2 years ago. My wife and I were on a Mediterranean cruise, and one of the stops, we had several stops in Italy, and one of those stops we had the chance to go to an working olive farm, and they took us through a deep dive on all of these different things about the history of olive oil, but then all of the new science and understanding of high phenolic olive oil, the harvesting process of that, oleocanthols, all the different phenolic compounds. And so my understanding started to fill that gap. And ever since then, I've been taking daily shots of the high phenolic extra virgin olive oil that I've been sourcing from overseas myself. And I've had great benefits from all of that, but you'll see when we send you the sample, taking a shot of high phenolic extra virgin olive oil that's really high quality. It's a bit of a shock to your throat, to the system, because it's so potent and so powerful. So the componentry put into an easy to take daily soft gel capsule gets you those same benefits without having to have that intense experience every day. So I want to make sure we understand that there's this big gap that we can now fill with education, and then we can now fill with an incredible solution that makes it easy for people to get these really high value benefits that we're going to treat and educate them on in a very simple form.
Curtis, excellent points. I am, what my mom would say at this point, disgraziato. I should have done, you filled in the gap that I forgot in the previous couple slides. Brother, I appreciate that. You're Italian at heart. Both these two are. Both these two are Italian at heart. I can't put too fine a point on this. There's a couple people on the line here, specifically Hernan and Robin and Ray. And we locked arms in a previous adventure called Zango in 2002. Well, Hernan and Robin, you were spring of 2003. But for the sake of this discussion, that's the earliest days of Zango too. That's like about that time. I don't know when I met you, Lourdes, probably fall 2002, I think, right? So Lourdes had a different vista from she was in the corporation with myself. And Lord has had to take words like xanthones and oligomeric proanthocyanidins and actually find Latin translations for these. God bless you, Lourdes. Good Lord. I can't believe you're on this call. I'm just freaking out. But anyway, when you get an opportunity like this with people that understand the basics on health and nutrition, like the groups on this line, Ray and I locked arms, Hernan and Robin, and we started educating folks about a particular supplement. At the time, it was a category-creating product, mangosteen. This right here, by the way, we had never invented mangosteen. That was the national fruit of Thailand. It was famous in one part of the world. I think all of us on the line would agree we are understanding of the olive and that it has a ridiculously rich history. It may be not all the way back to eternity, Dr. Shaw, but I'd say you probably have one of the longest historical uses of a botanical. I think that the first mention of it in the Bible, there's 143 mentions. I can't remember. I've got so many stats in my head. But I think it's rare that all three Abrahamic religions can agree on one thing, and that olive is a very special, they say, holy fruit. And when I say Abrahamic religions, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity don't generally agree on everything. But they can agree on one thing, and that the olive holds a very special place. In Italy, they do everything in threes. It's like the three coughs, and even like I'm Italian, so when you see an Italian do this, it's usually 3 times. And they have of course, Catholicism has the Trinity. In Italy, they have 3 what they call holy fruits. And one is the fig, another one is the grape, but the top of everything is the olive. And I think most of us on this call probably already have a general understanding that extra virgin olive oil is good for you. But I am telling you that even in America right now, stuff that's labeled as extra virgin olive oil is not, and nothing is high phenolic. High phenolic also comes with a barrier to consumption, a very strong high phenolic, the 3 coughs. That generally doesn't happen when it's in your foods, but what do they say about it? They tell us not even to cook with olive oil here. There's definitely a seed oil conspiracy. Ashley was pointing this out.
Yeah, they say that the smoke point on olive oil, you can't use it to fry anything, you can't use it to cook with. I use it for everything. I fry, and when we go to Italy, like if you've ever been to Italy and you watch someone make a homemade meal, they're using olive oil to fry the chicken, to fry anything in. Not only putting it on fresh, but they cook, they bake with it. It is the only oil they use, and nothing is bitter, nothing is burned, nothing is ruined by using this, which is, it's crazy to hear when you're an American and just living here, and then, we've all been taught this.
Yeah. The reason we're talking so much about the use of high value and high quality olive oil in the Mediterranean is because it is the secret of the Mediterranean diet. They consume copious amounts of it, as we've expressed, but it's not even that high level that we're talking about with the high level of polyphenols that come in a high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, and that we're going to juice even more with our proprietary blend of olivectin. And so now we're going to be able to allow that in various ways. One, in these soft gel capsules, but there's other opportunities as well.
So I actually realized that the previous slide has a tagline above it, but we were talking about the olive standard of health. Olive is one of those rare supplements, and I say rare because there's a few out there. Like everybody knows that aloe vera is good for your skin. Some of us in the know understand that it has benefits internally. The same is true of mangosteen, but that's not the same. It's not true of many botanicals out there. Ashley, I don't know. Can I know your age since it was your birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I know better at this point in my life to not ask a woman's age, but Ashley proudly tells everybody, she's been telling people for a year that she's 40. She just turned 40 last week, but you'd never know by looking at her. Probably you guys are on the phone or on this video screen thinking Ashley's in her early 20s, but she had a little secret to what she did in her routine. And then she actually started putting time into developing this product line. Can I ask you to talk about Visolux?
Yes, I would love to actually. So this is really exciting to me because I don't know about you, but when I wake up in the morning, I look rough. And I look so
liar.
And it's the truth.
do not.
My face is puffy. Where I lay, I can see the wrinkles in my skin, and I'm not okay with this. I'm my biggest fear of life, and life is aging, and I can't do it anymore. Okay, so this is really why this exists. So the best thing about the olive fruit, the olive tree, is there is a component in it that mimics your skin oils, your skin barrier. So by combining olive oil and a few key ingredients, this actually helps. It helps reduce puffiness. It helps with your fine lines and wrinkles. It makes you look hydrated without feeling greasy or looking any way, like you're having actual oil on your face. It's all natural. It gives you this beautiful sheen to your face as well without looking like you have makeup on or anything. So this is something I love putting on my face and leaving my face bare. It is such a beautiful component to just living a beautiful, healthy life without all the chemicals or reactions you get to modern day skincare.
That's so interesting because, again, looking to the Mediterranean and to Italians have been using high quality olive oil as a skin care solution for forever, right? And so we're now taking our special componentry of olivectin and the special components that we're extracting out of the leaf and out of the fruit, as well as a high quality extra virgin olive oil, and putting that into this really high end, all natural face serum that's just beautiful and amazing, and you're gonna love it.
Oh, wait, we have Laura's on the line, and of course Hernan and Robin and Ray already know what from our previous world did we bring you to the witness?
There is just a beautiful thing in it, which is also an anti-inflammatory. That's called pericarp oil and some mangosteen seed oil, which this is why this looks so beautiful on your face, actually, because it just gives it this beautiful shine that you cannot get anywhere else.
Yeah, it's interesting that a lot of face serums and other kind of skincare, the componentry needs some different things put into it to make it properly and effectively absorb into your skin and be able to actually do a lot of what it does. And some of those chemicals are not all natural, but the blend and value of the high componentry of the olive oil mixed with the mangosteen, pericarp, and seed oil makes it all natural. It then absorbs really effectively and has all these effective benefits like the anti-inflammatory and all these other benefits for your skin. So it's a beautiful combination.
Beautiful. Thanks. You guys, I'm going to skip through very quickly on this slide. Trust me on this one. There are 3 products. We're calling this one Viso Lux. In Italian, Viso, probably in Espanol too. Viso is face. We have 2 other products in the Viso collection, cleanser and a moisturizer. And we will be launching with a subset of this fall. I'll explain that at the end. But this is the 3 products. Again, the 3. Everything is very big in threes, Italy, including the skincare system, which will be called, this is a beautiful moment, you guys. It's called Treviso. Treviso just means 3 faces. Treviso is also the name of my mom's hometown. It's where she was born and raised, where my grandmother was born and raised. My family still has the house that my grandmother was born in. I make a pilgrimage to see my mom's old house. I was there a couple weeks ago. Treviso is in Italian. Oh, that's my mom. Treviso in Italian means 3 faces, and it's because the city of Treviso used to have a statue where 3 rivers converge coming into this area in Veneto. And there's a statue that has a face, 3 faces on it, looking at each port of entry for the city. And the city's called Treviso. All right, one more, but wait, there's more. Oh, Ray, you have a thought?
Yeah, I just hope everybody realizes these graphics, Gordon, real kudos. They're stunning. I mean, stunning. I'm looking at this packaging right now. You know, I've said this to you many times over the years. I like Madison Avenue type packaging. It's what the people see before you get to the product. I mean, that's gorgeous. I mean, it's gorgeous. And Ashley, your skin is beautiful. My wife is in the other room, so I'm safe at the moment. Yeah, she would agree with me. Your skin is so nice, and I wish we could get a little better close up. I have seen you on the last presentation, and yeah, you're right, Gordon. She looks 20 years old, and hey, let's just say it's probably a combination of a lot of things, but these products or this particular face serum is really good for you, and I know Cheryl's looking forward to using it. She just got back from Florida, and there's 2 little samples I have for her. And anyway, I just wanted to point out these graphics are spectacular. I love the mid-century stuff, everything I'm looking at. I mean, I'm stoked.
Yeah,
Okay.
I appreciate you saying that. I mean, Gordon has done a lot of work, so much work on the presentation and the brand, and really, I mean, that brings up a good point. We're not just creating a new company, right? We're really focused on creating a brand, creating a story that has connection and history and incredible medical benefits and value, beautiful packaging, incredible products, and with an excellent team that can really execute and build this incredible world and a place where we can all spend incredible time together in building this and driving it forward in amazing ways over these next several years together.
It also gives people that are that spend a lot of time in the world of zeros and ones, a passion about nutritional products. This is the craziest thing. Curtis, I met Curtis in a former life. I got to brag on him for a second. Curtis is a serial entrepreneur. He's been in a 12-step program like I have to get over it, but being an entrepreneur is a different mindset. Curtis dropped out of a full ride scholarship in college and moved to New York City and started an affiliate marketing company in the early 2000s. He's been in one entrepreneurial venture after another, and he's always keen, watching for an opportunity. His last company he exited was like drones. You guys, not like little drones that take pictures, like big, massive drones that carry like pallets of products and stuff like that. And that's a fairly adventurous portfolio that you have going. Actually, I should also mention Ashley does look like she's 20, but she is, as we pointed out, 40. She puts it out there. I'm not outing her age. Ashley and I have been in entrepreneurial ventures. She's working with you for almost 20 years now.
Yeah,
Almost 20 years, right? And she has everything from movie production. I still have a movie production company. Ashley's worked on those. She worked for an accounting. She worked in accounting for 2 years, but you didn't.
It's not meant for me.
So this is something that we're very passionate about. And, you know, Ray, I'm glad you pointed that out. Ray and I and Cheryl and my wife, Rachel, it was one of the best trips ever that we took in former business. And we were sitting there in Florence, Italy, Ray, and it was just this. Ray and I and Cheryl and Rachel, we were talking about, man, how do we live in this world? You know, really, all right.
That's true. That's true. Beautiful.
The Italians do one thing really well, and it's called la bella figura, and you think that just means the beautiful figure, and you always think Sophia Loren. Yeah. But what they do is they definitely take something that's, if it's worthwhile, great packaging on it. So, okay, on the skincare, before we leave that, Ashley, this was also your passion product. Maybe you want to tell them your experience from a personal standpoint.
Yes. Okay. I am so excited for this product. I have a herniated disc in my back, and it has been my nemesis, my downfall in life right now. So, what had happened is they brought up this idea of olive oil, and we learned the word oleocanthal. And I realized, you know, it has some of the same benefits as ibuprofen. My back started hurting even more, and I realized it was hurting my kidneys, taking all this ibuprofen every day. So I didn't have, you know, I needed the anti-inflammatory benefits that ibuprofen gives you. So I thought, could I localize this some way, somehow? It turns out you can't, which is crazy. So, yeah, that's how this came about. And honestly,
You gotta tell the leg story.
yeah. So, okay. So I have severe pinched nerves in both of my legs. I can't even sit. I have a hard time doing anything without taking ibuprofen. So what I did is, one leg hurts so much worse than the other. So what I did is took Flex, put it all over my right leg, waited a couple minutes, and then all of a sudden my left leg started hurting so bad. And I'm like, man, what did I do to it? Why does it hurt so bad? Turns out this stuff was working and really took down the inflammation and all the pain in my right leg. It was right then, I was like, what is this? What just happened? I cannot wait to share this with everyone else so they have their own story for it. And
yeah, actually, she works in an office full of men, and she's the one with lower back pain. That to me is an anomaly, right? But I think we should probably lead the witness. Hernan and Robin, are you able? Can we unmute them for a second?
Yeah.
Hernan and Robin, would you feel comfortable talking about what you experienced in the last week?
Yeah, you want to tell the story? About
Sure.
Well,
Yes. My mom is 85 years old, and she's in severe pain because she's got scoliosis, and she's humped over. She can't walk. She has to hold on to things when she's walking. She has no balance, and she's in excruciating pain. And we came home, and I said, are you in pain right now? And, and of course she is. And I said, well, I'm going to just rub some stuff on your back, your lower back, where it hurts, and it hurts all the way around the side where her hips are. So I warmed it up in my hand. I did 4 drops, and I warmed it up in my hand, and I rubbed it. I rubbed it all the way around, and then I was talking to her, and she was just like looking at me, and I really didn't think it would work that fast, but she said, would this help my balance? And I said, well, I have no idea because I don't even really know what it's going to do. And so she said, well, I think it's helping my balance. And I said, well, stand up straight and try to walk. So she stood up and she walked, and she was walking. She doesn't walk great, but she was walking, and she didn't have her cane, and she wasn't holding on to the couch that she was walking by. And she couldn't believe it. And she went down to the end, and she turned around, and she can't turn around unless she's holding on to something. And she walked back, and she did that like 5 times. It was unbelievable. She said it gave her balance back, and the pain wasn't so excruciating. It was amazing is what it was. And if I had more, because I only gave her 4 drops because there was probably only like 10 in the bottle. So I didn't want to give it all to her. And then I saw my son the next night, and I said, because he has a bad shoulder, and he thinks he's torn something in his shoulder, and he can't sleep on it. He can't raise his arm like this. And I said, and I gave him 4 drops. I warmed it up in my hand, and I rubbed it all over his shoulder. And we were talking, and he started moving his shoulder around, and he lifted it all the way up, and he pulled it all the way over. And he was in disbelief, like, because he thought, it was placebo with my mom. And I'm like, there is no way. And so he couldn't believe it, and his pain went away. And he went and laid on the couch like as if he were in bed, and he laid on that shoulder, and he could not believe it. His pain was gone.
Robin,
Thanks for sharing.
I appreciate that. There's a point that Robin brings up there, and we see the science, and you're like, wow, double-blind placebo studies say this, and you think, oh yeah, but we're still amazed when it does what it says it's going to do. One of the reasons this is so life-changing is that it affects also the nerve. I have my issues is sometimes I have in my forearms, I have like a nerve tingling irritation. I'm sensitive to certain substances to affect the nerve, and that's probably where you had the benefit. Your mother had the benefit from a balance perspective,
Yeah.
is because it does work on nerve pain, And that's different than just muscle joint pain.
That's what
So, I'm going to do my best here to skip a little bit forward. There is one more element to this, and that is that there is a beautiful smell associated with olives. For a couple of weeks in the spring every year, the olive tree blossoms, and there's a beautiful smell. Italians are weird. They don't talk about seasons like spring, summer, winter, fall. They do, yes, of course, but they micro do the seasons. Like they'll say it's fig season, or it is apricot season, or it is the wine harvest right now, or the olive harvest. But they also, you can tell the seasons in Italy based on the aromas in the air. And so there's a couple of weeks every spring where olive blossoms, if you're in an area that does olives, we smell this beautiful aroma of olives, and it's subtle. And we have incorporated that natural smell, actually found a source for olive blossom. We paired that with almond and jasmine. And there's a smell to Italy, and we've done that as well. I'll get into this after, but I have the three of us actually have a company in a different channel called Aromatherapist, and it's we have a patent on an amplifier, which is a dry scent. You can put a puck in it, and aromas have a big effect on our moods and these sort of things. So we have a special scent for this one. I'm going to finish up with a couple of things here. My brother, I don't know if he's on the line. He had a conflict in the schedule this morning. He's one of the guys that helped start this, and he said in the beginning of 2000s, where after 9/11, 2001 was a pretty big downer for most of the world. And when we started our company a year after in 2002, Joe started saying, the industry had taken some hits, and there had been nothing new for quite some time in direct selling and nutritional supplements. And Joe talks a lot about the importance of a dream and having something to look forward to. And he was saying it's safe to dream again. So I just took his quote and said, it's safe to dream again. I'm just going to say something. I don't know about you guys, but the last few years, they kind of been something that I think I would refer to as the pits, and I say that not just personally, but I think the world suffered an existential crisis during COVID. And I think it became something of a bummer, and the economy ended up with a big parking brake on it seemed like. And I think it's time for optimism. It's time for optimism in our day. It's time to have optimistic sense in our world, optimistic supplements, optimistic skincare, a brand that we can get behind. And if you have an understanding of health and nutrition, a few words that we'll have to learn. Oleocanthal is a new word. It was a new word. I'm talking to a family that's second generation olive farmers, and I'm talking to the father who's older than I am, and I say oleocanthal, and he's like, I don't know this word. So he speaks great English. His wife doesn't, but he does. And I said, he's like, I understand polyphenols, high phenolic, all these things. And I go, you don't know the word oleocanthal? He's like, no. And I said, it's relatively new science. I said, can you Google it? And the next morning, he comes to breakfast, and he's like, he says to me, oleocantale. Oleocantale is the Italian translation. He said, I Googled it. He's like, wow. And he says, what's the name of your company again? He's like, you marca for your company. I said, OLIABO. And he goes, OLIABO, oleocantale. And then he does this. It's very, very Tuscan Italian. And he makes that noise, and he goes, basta appunto, which means stop, it's all over. He's like, this is the thing that the world needs to hear, I thought that was a pretty good compliment. One of the things that we were doing, we're saying the olive standard of health. If you paid attention on the slide deck, every one of our products has a seal that'll come, which is our seal of authenticity. It's also our promise of quality, purity, and trust. And I understand we are in a business that, Ray and I trust Ray with my life. Honestly, we've been through so many adventures together. We want to trust the supplements that we take. And Italians, when they have something that is preserved, like everything from Parmigiano Reggiano, people will fake Parmesan cheese. They have seals on them, and wines and high-end products. We'll have seals on all of our stuff. There's a little icon here. This isn't for the general public, but for those who are interested in design, there's a historic figure in Roman mythology named Minerva. She's the goddess of intelligence, wisdom, war, and she's also historically known for the person who gifted olives to the planet. You know, this is old belief systems, thousands of years ago, right? But we did a representation of her, and we're saying Cherica Minerva. In other words, signs are a little superstitious too, I would tell you. So it's almost like you can jinx the world if you don't believe in the old Roman gods anymore, but it's still like, you don't want to jinx your world. You got to have the Minerva's seal of approval, right? So I thought that was just kind of a fun way to finish up the product section here. We are where we're going. Oh, where we're going. I have to read my own slide. Subscription economy. By the way, everyone on the line here remembers probably a day where it was a pain to tell people that your product was going to be shipped to your house. Do you remember that? That was like 10 years ago still, or 20 years ago. You'd have to tell people, oh, your supplements are shipped to your house. And like, what? I don't have to go to the store? I like going to a store. I'm like, well, that's changed. People like things delivered to the comfort and safety of their home. And they also like subscriptions. There was also a time in recent history where auto orders seemed to be something that people didn't like. Everything has gone subscription in the world now, and we are selling our products in a 1-month supply with a very, very powerful motivator to go on a subscription. And then just some stats, the dependence on delivery. I think something is wrong if I don't have at least one thing being delivered to my house every day. My wife and I have 3 wonderful kids, 2 teenagers, 1 early 20s. And between the 5 of us, if there isn't a package on my doorstep every day, I think that something is wrong. Okay. So we have gone that direction. We're going to take full advantage of that. And you guys have been very good with your time. One important thing. We have the Aromatherapist is an affiliate model, this other company that we have, and it still exists and will continue to exist. It's an influencer affiliate model. And what I thought is interesting about that model is that they keep things very simple, but they also dream very small. I found that in traditional direct selling, we were the opposite. We dream very big, but then we keep things complicated. We are taking both those and fusing them together. The thing that we are probably our best affiliate locally here, she held a luncheon, and Curtis and Ashley went. It was for all influencers and affiliates in the area. And she said, for the first time in my life, I'm losing people to network marketing companies. And here's the 2 reasons I am. They take trips. She's like, why? We don't have to demand these of these companies that we work with. They need to take us on trips. I'm sick of hearing the network marketers in my groups talking about, I just came back from Hawaii. I just went to, Portugal or whatever. She's like, we got to demand more of our affiliate companies. And then she also said, and they train their people. Like, this sucks. We're in charge of all the training and nobody trains us. The train the trainer doesn't happen in that industry. So we're taking those, and I'll tell you, they're some of the best trips of my life. We're taken with people that I absolutely love doing business with. So
on that note, that the industry has been talking for a long time about the concern over the affiliate space eroding the direct selling space, and how do we fit those 2 together so they play well together. So my background, I started doing affiliate marketing in the late 90s. I started building affiliate marketing companies and businesses and e-commerce and software in the 90s to the 2000s and beyond, right? That's my whole background. And so with that background and knowledge, combined with Gordon and Joe, combined with our software team, we're fully unifying the compensation structure and plan to incorporate affiliates and direct selling distributors into the same kind of model and plan to benefit everyone in a way that's never been done before. Truly never been done before. We're not just saying what I'm sure you've heard over the last few years about, we're going to make it so that affiliates can work and it'll work and you don't have to worry about it. No, you're going to see something when we roll it out that the industry has not been able to do effectively, and it's all going to work very well for all of us.
Truly, this is a very good point. Thank you, Curtis, because you're right. Right now, maybe you're taking a look at the industry and direct selling. What they've done is they Frankenstein on an affiliate program in an existing company that's, let's say 10 or 20 years old or whatever it is. And it's an awkward fit. It feels like you've just unplugged from a European plug that's all freaky, and then you try to plug it into an American plug, and it doesn't quite work, right? So you can get an adapter, but it's just hanging there.
It has to be fully integrated.
Exactly. We're like creating like a plug that is so unique that it just works in both. And it's going to be, there's something that there's a concept that we're introducing this fall. And it is, I won't bore you with the details, but it's something we're referring to as horizontal compression, which allows us to motivate and compensate affiliates in a different manner than we compensate in the other direct selling space. And so that's part of our system. The ability to make money, and I'm going to address this right out of the chutes. I love the nutritional health industry, and I love direct selling. But there has been a scary kind of gap that has been happening, and it's been getting more and more over the years. And that is that a product is charging you $200 for something that has half of that in commissionable volume, and there's a lot of breakages and plans, and people weren't able to make money that they used to in the old model. And people say, well, no, people don't tolerate the old model anymore. I said, well, they don't for a product that's old, that's not unique. We have price points. We put a lot of money, time, and effort into this. This didn't just happen overnight. And what will happen between now and our launch this fall, and when I say that, we're going to hit the ground guns a-blazing. Ray knows this, and I will stroke out before I let this thing, not launch the way I want it. In my brain, I approach a project like this with a white hot intensity of 1,000 suns. I feel bad for competitors that have to deal with me. I could be a real pain in the marketplace for a competitor, and I love our industry, and I'm passionate about it. I've spent my life in it. I love it. That's a masochistic thing to say. Ray knows you can put sodium pentothal through my veins and like poke me with red hot pokers, and I'll still tell you, I really love this industry. I love health and nutrition. I love direct selling. I love the entrepreneurial spirit that exists. And I am so passionate about this because it's kind of part of my DNA. Like I was saying, Italian flag is red, white, and green. American flag is red, white, and blue. Canadian flag is red and white. And I was like, you got red and white? And I was like, I don't know, red, white, and you. This company's going to be red, white, and you. Maybe you're on this line and you're thinking that you could be you. And that's a really bad sentence. But I shouldn't rip.
That was great.
I shouldn't rip. But Italians, if you are living with Italians for more than a day, you're going to break bread with them. And when you break bread, it is not a proper gathering unless somebody raises a glass and says salute. At least, like honestly, Italians will do this 3 to 4 times in a dinner, right? Lunch, maybe twice. You'll see, you're like, why are people doing they call it chin chin. They like the sound that glasses make. They raise a glass and they say salute, and it means to your health. And it is bad manners to not at least do 1 or 2 salutes in the group gathering, luncheons, whatever. It's like to your health. And so I'm saying to you guys today, salute. I plan to launch a campaign we do called the Olive Standard of Health. Wonderful folks like Ray and Hernan and Robin and others have said, I'll take that challenge. I think the world needs education on this. The stats support it. I'm here to tell you, I feel so proud of what we did in a former life with the mangosteen fruit. And that thing had statistics that were impressive. The statistics and the medical science behind this outnumbers that tantamount. And the historic use, it's there right in front of our face the whole time. I think if we did a good job today, somebody like Dr. Jerry is going to be like, I didn't know that. And I know a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff. And I can tell you, I grew up in an herbal gerbil household. I pick and packed orders for Nature Sunshine. They probably have 700 SKUs. Like here, my parents would do things like, here, take this ginkgo biloba so you don't turn out crazy like your dad's Uncle Bob. And then here, take this, whatever it would be, this particular prayer, you're constipated, take this Cascara Sagrada, or take the, you have stomach problems, take this ginger supplement. This is like, you get stomach benefits, you get mental acuity, and really at a not caffeine, we're talking about a mental acuity that comes from lubricating your brain. you end up with statistics on longevity that are almost entirely impossible to. You guys are getting the pre-launch pitch. So
Yeah, so I'll send you all. One will be sending you. I'll confirm your addresses, your shipping addresses after the call. I'll send you all an email that you can respond to confirm shipping addresses, and we'll send you little samples. We don't have the soft gel pills yet, so we'll have those samples soon. But we'll send you samples of the high phenolic extra virgin olive oil shot, so you can just see the difference in what that feels like in taking that, so you understand the benefits and the potency that's going to be in the soft gels. We'll also send you a sample of Flex and some other things. I'll also send you some of these words that we're talking about, so that you can Google them yourselves and see. You can start to fill that awareness gap yourselves personally, and start to have some of that information in your own hands directly. And you can verify what we're talking about. The reality is that it's time for a renaissance in the industry. I'm sure many of you have experienced this over the last few years, bouncing around from opportunity to opportunity, and really there's some that are making some good choices and decisions and trying to do things the right way, and there's others that maybe aren't. We're really focused again on building a brand, building beautiful visuals, building incredible products, and making all of that fit into an incredible compensation plan, which we're putting the finishing touches on now, but making it so that people can generate healthy, strong, durable checks in this business. And we got the team to execute. It's time for a renaissance in the industry, and we're going to lead that charge. And so happy to open up to some questions. And then, we can go from there. Thank you.
Could I comment, Dr. Gary?
Sure.
This really takes me back because 48 years ago, I was in chiropractic school. And I had moved into this. It was like a big house that had a lot of students in it. And the house was in a real estate transition. So the guy showed up that was going to manage that. And he was Greek. And he asked what I was doing. I told him I was in chiropractic school. He went, oh, he says, I'm from Greece. He said, do you realize how much health the Greeks have because of olive oil? And I said, well, not really. And he went on. And every time I would see him, he would go on about olive oil. And he claimed that in World War II, because the Greeks couldn't get the best version of their olive oil, 1 million of them died. He says they are so connected to the best olive oil that they just depend upon it, and they couldn't get it, they suffered. But anyway, shortly after that, I had a biochemistry teacher, and he was famous for, in those days, for helping people get over incurable type things. And the foundation of his programs included olive oil because it was hypoallergenic, and he said people are allergic to a lot of things, and he'd always use olive oil. And he was always saying it was really hard to find the right olive oil. And he recommended a certain kind, and it was one that you're not going to find on the shelves. I knew that. So that was impactful for me. Then later, I studied with a French naturopath, and his whole thing was about olive oil. First thing in the morning, you swallow some, and what it does, it goes down into your stomach, and it activates a release of a hormone that the receptor site is the gallbladder or the liver if you don't have it. And the liver will detoxify every morning, and how valuable that is for health. And so he said, that's one of the greatest things people can do. But he also said it's really hard to find good olive oil. So this strikes right in the heart of my history. So thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And that's that awareness gap that I'm talking about. It's only in the, people have been experiencing a lot of those benefits for thousands of years, but not known why. And now, over the last, couple decades, the medical science is starting to explain those things in a detail that we never understood before. And also the manufacturing processes are now available to extract some of those compounds and components like oleocanthal and the olive leaf extract in ways that was never possible before either. So it's an incredible time where we can fill that awareness gap with these incredible products, with incredible education that can genuinely impact lives in really meaningful ways and produce some great outcomes on the financial side as well.
True. And what you were talking about with your Greek friend is not unique. There are Italians, even in Italy, where they have standards of it. They will go directly to a farm, because once the thing is gone to a plant and it's manufactured for sale, that's the same product that they export or whatever, they haven't. First of all, they need to be connected to many Italians buy estate specific olive oil. Estate specific is they know the family, the farm that are doing it. They've been buying from this farmer forever, and we don't even have a certification process in the States to certify that what's being sold is what's on the label.
Yeah.
So you're right, Dr. Jerry, all the stats that we produced earlier and the health benefits your friend experienced growing up is only accompanied by with an extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil that's been cut, and they do it a lot, it's been cut with cheaper seed oils. They don't have the same benefits. The stats don't apply. So yeah, thanks. Great comment. Thank you.
Ray, you had a comment, question?
Yeah, thanks guys. Great job. I mean, this is pretty exciting for me. I'll just say to everybody, why the secrecy, why the NDA? We work in an industry where there's a lot of vultures. I'll just say it that way. They do their best to try to get out in front and steal other people's ideas and the like. And they're not going to be able to duplicate this formula. It's going to take somebody a long, long time to be able to do that. However, they're the kind of people, some of them I know, there's some great people in this industry. I don't want to insinuate there isn't, but there's also some vultures, and they would likely get a hold of all this information and come out even probably simultaneously with us. Yeah, we've got the same thing. They don't have the same thing, but they'll tell the world they do. And so I would just encourage you all, just be a little careful who you talk with, what you say. And Gordon, if I'm out of line, you can say whatever, but
you're great. Thank you for reminding. And it's a very awkward, but sometimes I'm meeting people like on a call like this for the first time, and thank you, gratitude for being on this call. There's, it's a Friday in the summer, and I appreciate your time today. You've been generous with it. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulty at the beginning. These are numbers we haven't done from this little conference room. So,
I wanted to say something else, Gordon.
That was the result of Hernan and Robin leaving here last week, and then they're like, I was on the road. And Curtis like, can we do this call for this? But yeah, there is power in also keeping something close to our chest for especially the weeks ahead. There's power in giving you guys a head start on go to ChatGPT. Try, I think that you'll be surprised at the power of the words that we just talked about. The oleocanthal, that in and of itself is a game changer. And Ray knows that and Hernan and Robin, they saw it in the early. Lourdes got to see it from a different vantage point. That keeping things. Lourdes, I'm trying to remember when you came in. If you have your mic on, but are you still on? Can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course, I'm here.
Okay, what was your birthday?
It was November of 2022 is when we first met, and I started, I believe, in December.
Lourdes, so you're there. You saw what happened. We had everybody under NDA. Right up
I saw everything, and I'm telling you guys, this is incredible. When I first heard that Gordon was involved with this, I went, oh my heavens, you're kidding me. And it's been very exciting, very, I don't know how to put it in words, but you are the best, Gordon. I think I told you once, you are the best boss I've ever had. I have learned so much from you, and I don't think there is anyone in the world that could do a better job than you can. And I know this will be incredible in the fall when you launch it, and I'm so excited that Dr. Jerry invited me, and I'm excited to see where this is going to go. So for all of you that may not know Gordon, you guys are in for a real treat, and get ready because this is going to be explosive.
Okay. Oh, well, gosh, I'll give you a big hug right now. We got to connect, sister. Are you still in the?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, still here, same place, Sandy.
Yeah, let's come by the office next week, maybe. Okay, I'll
For
give
sure,
you.
absolutely. I love to do that.
Lourdes, it's Ray Heron. It's good to hear your voice. Man, it's been a long time.
It has been great, and I gotta tell you, this man Gordon truly, truly would put his life on you. He loves you like no other. We learned about you from the early days. He would talk about you in every meeting. So this guy has a lot of respect and love for you. So it's exciting to see that you are, getting this going again. And I know it's going to be humongous. So I'm really excited about this. Great to hear you, Ray, as well.
Thank you, dear. I love Gordon Morton. I knew Gordon when he wasn't even shaving, It goes back a long time. I certainly was there with the birth of all of his kids and stuff. I love this guy. He's made out of the real stuff. And I can probably speak for everybody on this call. We're ready to find something that we believe in again. We're ready to find people that we can trust. If you'll just borrow what I know, if you don't know Gordon personally, believe me, I trust him completely. And he is an idea guy. This is an idea. This is an old phrase, an idea whose time has come. This really is an idea whose time has come. I love how you've put it together. And I mean, I can feel it. And I know that most of you on this call, you can feel it as well. Listen, I've had a couple of texts here. Is there anything that you're prepared to discuss on the compensation plan? Because networkers, they want to know that. So if you could cover a little bit, thank you.
Here's the thing. There's still some, Ray, you knew this part of it, okay? That in fall of 2002, I pinged some stuff off of you, but I pinged it off very few people because I will say this. I have some graphics, and I think Hernan and last week, did you guys see those slides that were wet paints? Did you see something last week?
Yeah, you flashed it on the screen, you dog.
Yeah, I was okay. So can we do that? If you guys are, by the way, we've dispensed a lot of things. We downloaded, like I've just fed everybody with a fire hose. So I do have it. I think it's pretty amazing what we've done. There are still a few things that I'm tweaking on that. Hernan, I got your input. And you're like, you didn't like the one level that you saw. I'm like, you saw wet paint. So it was one level. I think you saw the one, right? You saw like an 8th level.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk. You saw a working thing.
So as you say on comp plan, we're very close to finalizing that. As I'm sure you can understand, we want to be very careful about how we're sharing things and when we're sharing things, because we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But we will get some information on that.
Absolutely.
Sooner than later, but we also want to keep it very tight. We haven't shared with a large group like this yet because we've been keeping these very tight. So we really appreciate that all of you have come together, and we also want you to know from our side that we're entrusting this information to you, and we hope that you'll continue on the journey with us. To give you some ideas of timelines we're aiming for, that we think are actually realistic timelines that we're aiming for. So comp plan, like I said, we're finalizing some things. Know that it will be able to create checks. There will be some aspects of it that many of you will be familiar with some additional tweaks and refinements to make it even better, and to allow leaders to really build and grow a business and to build a really solid middle class as well, so that it's not just people at the top making big checks, but it allows people in the middle to make some checks and all the way down through. It's going to have some great opportunities for some bonuses and bonus pools for leadership, incredible integration for affiliates to come into the game and for you to connect with those that you have connections with and others. Great opportunities for customers to have incredible products. Some of the timelines that we're looking at, we're aiming for potentially opening up the basic system to allow some what I would call soft enrollment, allowing you to come in.
Give them a new term. That works.
Yeah.
That works. Soft launch, but it's soft enrollment.
Soft enrollment, which means right now we're collecting everything very manually, texts and emails, and sending out NDAs, one-offs like this. But we're looking towards the end of August, putting our initial site up so that you can then, people can come to that and submit their name, email, address, go through a little bit of paperwork to then have kind of a soft enrollment, and then soft launch is targeting for sometime in September, where we could actually then be going through and actually taking full enrollments and pre-orders, and then like full launch in October. This is what we're lining up for, and what we're moving towards. And so we would be sharing, compensation info and other structure info like that before that time. But yeah, that's kind of what we're aiming towards.
There's one thing. Thank you, Curtis. By the way, we are extremely conservative with what we say. We have to. I don't want to underpromise. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. Right. So these are conservative estimates. This isn't our first rodeo, and things move faster when you've done it before. And one of the things that Ray gave me challenges back. Ray was the #1 check for a company. Ray was partially responsible for me joining this company in the corporate team called Sterling Health. Back in the day, Ray was the #1 check in a unilevel that he was like, Gordon, my boy, if somebody could figure out how to get this big check. Now, Ray's check was big, but Ray's like those big legendary checks and networking, and he's like, if you could do that with a unilevel, I don't know how you could. I think I got as much blood from this stone as I could get. And it's true, the way that comp plan was structured. But the beautiful thing about that one, Ray, was the unilevel basics right there were the easiest, most visible. There's not the gaming of a comp plan doesn't really happen because it's pretty transparent. We added pretty fun things in this angle plan to produce some really big checks. And I'm not, I don't know where anyone is on in your life on this call, but I think to put in the time and the effort, the beauty of this industry is it does build a beautiful residual, and you can multiply the efforts of yourself through a duplication model. We're going to have this thing, and it's based on a basic of, there's a whole lot of threes that you heard on this line. 3 coughs. Good Lord. Ashley came to the table with like the 3 cough thing that she heard about. Okay, three coughs. We have it's based on 3 groups of 3 and bundles of 3, and we don't want people working with 300. The affiliates will, but we have an alternate comp plan for them. So anyway, it is. I'll just leave it at that, because as soon as I show wet paint, I don't even know how Hernan remembered seeing that slide, but he apparently circled back. Yeah, it came to me. Yeah. We'll talk.
So other questions, we've got some time. If we appreciate your time, we want to be mindful, but we also, if there's other questions for the group that would be good to hear, please, anyone that would like to share or ask, you can also reach out to us directly afterwards as well. Okay.
Good. All right.
Thank you so much for your time. And again, I'm going to send a follow-up email to everybody to one, confirm your mailing address so that we can ship out some of these initial samples to you. And then also to share, I'll send out some of these words, because I want you to be able to look up things like high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, oleocanthal, some of these other things, so that you can start filling that awareness gap yourselves and not just take it from us. So, Ray, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to tease anybody. However, I want to read you a testimony, totally unsolicited. And if this was coming from somebody trying to recruit me in an organization, I would just kind of look past it. This is a good friend of mine, a senior citizen. I'm about as senior as you get, folks. I tell everybody I'm in the last chapter of my life, and my children often say, Dad, don't say that. And I go, well, I didn't say how long the chapter was. So I want to choose well in my last chapter of life, and I know I have here with Gordon in this group. Let me get rid of this call. This is a testimony that's I just got it yesterday. Gordon, you may not have even seen this. I'm not going to name anybody's name. This is just what somebody had sent me. He says, it's 4 a.m., about 14 hours since this sample. I want more. Body is back in full function from toes to brain. Blood is flowing. I don't know how one sample can do what this has done. I surely don't want this feeling to stop. I haven't been this excited in many years. At almost 73, I'm feeling decades younger. I don't usually write down in the middle of the night the benefits I'm feeling, but this must be documented. I had my left shoulder replaced 11 months ago and am needing right shoulder replaced also, but the soreness, pain, and crunching, that sounds awful, has greatly diminished. He goes on to say, it seems that this is too crazy to be even stating. How can this be happening? My brain won't shut down. Not a bad thing since it hasn't felt like it's been functioning. Now I'm beginning to wonder about all the other areas of benefit to this aging body. Now that's an incredible testimony, totally unsolicited. And I don't want to say everybody's going to get that kind of result with your first tasting. I mean, I've had a tasting. I loved it. I felt good, but I'm not sure I felt that good. That's the possibilities that can happen with people. We really got our hands on something. I know we do. I mean, I just know it. There's some things in life called feelings, discernment. I know we're at the right place at the right time. And Gordon, anything you want to add, you and Curtis and Ashley, as to opening? I know it's fall. We first talked about October 1. Anything that causes you to adjust that in any way?
I think, Ray, we're trying to be as conservative as possible with our numbers. And when I talked to Ray originally about this, he mentioned this to our group. I think it's a very good challenge. He said, there's too many groups out there in recent years who have said they're going to launch a company. They launch everything, and then the product is 8 months down the road or 6 months down the road. And he's like, we can't do that. He goes, let's limit our conversations to a very small group of people who have an ability to get, a jump on the education and whatnot, that understand the industry. I think that was great advice, Ray. I try to underpromise and over-deliver. And the one, I actually talked to Ray a little bit off record about like some of there's things the hoops you got to jump through to make sure you make all your timelines. One of the things I do know is that I have a definite, beautiful in with the person programming our compensation. And no, I'm not using Shopify. I love Shopify. That's for affiliate models. You can't put an MLM through Shopify. There's too many examples of people who tried that in recent years and then Frankensteining on some plugins. This is completely customized programming done to handle international growth and everything in the future. There's a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross. I have dotted many of these I's and crossed these T's myself in my former lives. And Curtis has got a very good finger on the pulse of the zeros and ones. I think we can all agree that the best spokesperson for a skincare product line is not me or Ray. I just happen to have in my energy orbit. I trust Ashley to work with me 20 years, right? She would have robbed me years ago if she had a chance. She's extremely great with people, and it's the real deal. I don't know. There's lots of reasons not to be optimistic when you turn on the news in 2025. I think there's plenty of reasons to be optimistic about certain things. And I'm telling you, there's some stuff that happened in America where suddenly the awareness was put on the quality of food and supplements that we've been used to in America. I can't help but notice that Heinz is pulling dyes out of their products. And there are companies, big like General Mills and big products, that are companies that are pulling bad for you ingredients out of their products. And that's largely to do with a guy named Robert Kennedy Jr. And God bless that man. He is putting a microscope on the quality of food and telling Americans we should demand better. And I think that's pretty amazing. And so anyway, combine that with, Ray used to say, put up anything that'll break, I'm knocking down, right? And he's like, can you handle that? Are you going to be able to handle that growth? Man, we grew like a rabbit farm on a hormone diet in fall of 2002. Laura's got to witness it up close and personal, probably uncomfortable detail, but somehow I managed to keep my sanity through that. I'd like to tell you that, I feel like I think I'm a way better model than I was. I was 35 at that point. There was only so much I knew. I understand already some of the challenges that are ahead of me and of this group. To build growth comes with a certain amount of discomfort, but we're up to the task. I don't think that was what you were asking, Ray, but maybe that was. But Ray and I just shoot each other gang signs through the video screens, and I don't know if I got that one right. So
yeah. So just to kind of put a point on that. So yeah, we're looking and aiming towards doing like a full launch shipping product in October. And we definitely don't want to get ahead of ourselves by doing that and taking pre-orders until we're actually sure that we're 30 days out from being able to ship. But our target timeline for doing a soft launch, opening up pre-orders and full enrollments is September, so that then we can do a full launch and shipping product in October. We may be able to do what I said, like soft enrollments in mid to late August. And we hope that you'll join us on that journey. We'll keep you in the loop. We really appreciate your time. We'll keep you in the loop. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions along the way. We'll get some samples out to you, some emails out. Again, contact us with any questions. But we're going to be moving fast, and we're ready to really create a renaissance in this world and create a beautiful world that we can all join together and really move forward in some amazing ways these next few years.
Curtis, thanks for leading the witness with that. Oh, Ray how are you doing that? Ray raised his hand. Go ahead, Ray.
I'm a technological marvel,
You're one upping me.
Listen, Curtis, this is probably a good question for Curtis. What is the lead time for the manufacturing delivery of our OLIABO or Prima? Because we're probably going to run you out of inventory. I'm just telling everybody in advance. Hopefully it's a real short window, because we're going to bring it, and I promise you, we're going to strain the inventory, whatever your mission.
So we understand that both from a technology perspective and the software, as well as from a manufacturing perspective. So we're already setting up supply chains, right? We're building these supply chains. As you heard, the type of product that we're talking about has never been done before. The componentry has never been put together before in the way that we're putting it together. So we're creating the supply chain, but we've got multiple sourcing solutions. We also, on the manufacturing side, we've also already, for the Prima product specifically, the gel cap supplements, we've got 2 manufacturing partners that we're working with that are helping us to develop that, so that then we can scale effectively and also have backup should one or the other have problems. One of those is locally here in Utah, near where we're at, and then one is in California. So we're preparing for that. We're preparing redundancy so that we can be doing that fast. These are large scalable organizations who have been manufacturing supplements and healthcare products for decades, and highly experienced, technically experienced, have the machinery and equipment to do so. We expect to have our initial samples of those gel cap of that product of Prima. We're hoping in the next few weeks, so that we can tweak some things, so that we can then be ready for sure, is our timeline for shipping in October, but be ready for scaling at that time as well.
This is a very good question. Ray is talking about, he's leading the witness, because we've all been part of things where somebody wasn't prepared. I can assure you, none of us are in our garage batching all this. We've got very big manufacturing partners. One of the things that happened at the fall of 2002 was a growth that was beyond. People said, "Did you know it was going to be this big?" And I said, "I did." But I didn't know is how fast it would be that big. And the thing that I'm very proud of is that we never went on back order. Ray knows this. That was a tunnel and tube pasteurization process with a milling that had never been done before. And I was bringing the raw materials in from Thailand, and there was a dock strike. If stress were people, I was China. And Ray knows I lost 20 something. Lourdes met me when I was probably 20 pounds lighter than September. Because it's the kind of thing, though, my dad would call it stress. There's a type of stress that is good. If you know what you're up to, I will be able to handle it. Ray, I can tell you that. I've got great manufacturing partners in this one, some of which I've worked with for decades. And they're prepared. So,
well, just to clarify too, guys, the sample that you're sending, it's a major part of the Prima product, but it's not the whole formula, correct?
Oh, no,
Correct,
no.
correct. What we'll be sending out that, as we talked about. So again, maybe you can see a little bit better now in the video. This is your regular extra virgin olive oil that you get at the store.
Right.
This is a high phenol. The bottles are the same color. The bottle is not colored on this.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So we'll be sending out a sample of the high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. High phenolic meaning high in polyphenols like oleocanthal, oleuropein, some other fun words that you'll be learning. And that's what has all these incredible benefits. This does not have our proprietary blend of olivectin, which is some of those special extracts from the olive leaf and the fruit. But
Right.
this has incredible health benefits. We're going to send you a little shot of this so that you can taste that. And that is going to be one of the componentries that goes into the Prima gel caps. Thank you for that clarification.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then Hernan had a question.
Wait, I gotta unmute.
Yeah.
How do you see that one? Yeah.
Gordon, does hey,
yeah.
does Italy have any blue zones?
Yes. Good. Wow. Robin. Brava. Great question. So there's something in the world. They're known as blue zones. They're the areas, and they're not, we don't have any in Canada or the United States. I don't know if we have any in North America, but they are an area of the planet where people have the longest longevity statistics. And Italy has Sardinia, which is the entire area of Sardinia is a blue zone. People outlive the general population. I will tell you, this is a weird thing. We've been conditioned in America to say that things like meat or yes, like, I don't know, butter, cheese, these are the things that you got to avoid. No, you go to Italy and they live longer than we do. They have amazing statistics and they eat cheese. They don't even believe in low-fat cheese. They eat meat, they eat bread, wine with their meals, their bread has a shelf life of exactly 1 day. There's no preservatives. So you buy bread, you have to buy it every day. It turns into like something consistency of a brick the next day, right? Italy has a blue zone. There's areas of Japan that are blue zones. There are areas on the planet, and there's secrets in those. Ray always said success leaves clues. Blue zones have success clues in them. One of them is olive oil.
One of the other fascinating statistics on Mediterranean diet and the Mediterranean cultures, Italy, Greece, some others, their overall life expectancy is higher than the United States, but they also have much higher rates of smoking, and they consume lots of alcohol, but they still live longer than we do. And you've got to think that a big part of that is that Mediterranean diet, which one of the main components is that high quality extra virgin olive oil. So pretty fascinating.
It's interesting too, because Robin, this is a fascinating thing that I always think. You see those cultures, and one of the things that they also talk about is that Italians are fixated on the way they do things, their systems. It's something that Italians have they call passeggiata. It just means little walk, like a hike, little walk. And after a meal, they do passeggiata. Italians will get up and they do a little walk. Yeah. They go, instead of leaving a restaurant and going straight to the car and driving home, they'll do a little passeggiata around the block. They look at things. They laugh a lot, right? There's a lot of laughter, little things like passeggiata, little things like they don't have ice in their sodas. Okay, these are things that are kind of quirky Italian things that you got an Italian mom that makes you like weird as a family, coming from experience. But some of their success, they're leaving clues, and we are, through also the education on olive oil, we'll incorporate little pieces of nice life advice. Like it's actually pretty good for you when you're done a meal to take a walk around the block before you go back to sit in your desk, Like little things like that, like drinking water but the nice trade-off is they also get to eat much more flavorful food than we do.
Right, they're having a life still.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ray has raised his hand. It's the coolest thing.
I was just bragging about my technology skills, and I accidentally hit that. I didn't mean to raise my hand.
We really appreciate everyone's time. We know we shared a lot of info. You shared your time with us. Want to give any additional time if anybody has any other questions. Otherwise, I think we can wrap this up and know that you can reach out to us. those that have already, spent time with us, you know that you can reach out and we'll get back to you, or we'll answer as soon as possible. I'll be following up with some additional information and some emails. Anything else?
May I say one thing about that,
Yes.
Curtis? You'll see emails from our regular, like email addresses, not from we have our OLIABO system set up we have the domains and everything, but even the name OLIABO, if somebody put their head into it, could probably crack the code on what area we're into. If you speak a little bit of Latin-based language and can figure a few things out. So we're trying to, you'll start to see OLIABO email addresses very shortly, but keep in mind, we have those. But yeah, we're keeping things tight. So you might end up with I have a media company. So if you see me as Coordinate 188 Media, that's, one of my email addresses. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, there's a lot that we just downloaded and process it. And by all means, you can fire off emails to us. And if you've got Q's, I think we'll have A's. So Ray.
Yeah, I see a lady on this Zoom, not Zoom. I guess this is Google Hangout.
Yeah.
She's hanging out with us. I love Fifi Cheek. I know that you do too.
Fifi's on the line.
Fifi is on the line, and Fifi, I know you're camera shy, but
she doesn't
based on
have a mic.
I'm hope you open your mic and say something and tell us what you think about what you've seen. It's important to me.
Hey Ray, she doesn't have a mic.
She has no mic.
Her mic's not working.
That's okay. I talked to Fifi for the first time last week. Ray was nice enough to put me on. Fifi, you're sick of hearing my voice anyway, but I'll tell you, hey, it was such a pleasure to catch up last week. I think you got my number. You can call any questions you have, no problem. I only have one skill. Fifi knows this. I just do this. Like, this is it. Okay? And usually I start forming words, but first it's with just the hand. And yeah, I can answer any questions you guys have, hopefully.
Fifi is so involved in nutrition. I mean, she gets all the calls. They think she's Dr. Fifi. And anyway, I really liked her comments. I know you can turn your microphone on, girl. I don't know why you're not, but I'm about to find out.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, I'm so excited to hear everyone's stories too, because you guys were kind enough to hear all of ours. And when you have a story about anything olive oil related, I would love to hear it. So send me them. Send me all of them.
This will also put you on the bleeding edge of when we do have the first encapsulated products, things like that. Hernan and Robin heard a stat last week. I said the total number of people in the field that know about this is under 10. That was last week on Friday. I think you decided that you were going to double that stat because I think you doubled it today. So, way to go, Hernan and Robin.
Dr. Jerry, yeah.
Yeah. I woke up with a little mini panic last night. I'm like, what? How many people? Is our call center? Can we handle that?
Yeah, we're all set.
It's a little, sorry, I was at the beginning of this. I don't usually apologize, but technologically, Curtis is ridiculously savvy, but I am not. So when I came in the room, I was like, hopefully you figure this thing out. I don't know how to. Anyway, we'll be better at that. So
well, thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
thanks so much.
Thank you.
Look for some follow-up emails. And again, feel free to reach out with any questions. We hope you'll join us on this journey and really looking forward to it.
yeah, have the best weekend of your life, you guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Stars for the Google Meet. That's great.
Well, that went good. Now your phone's going to start blowing.